Did you know a federal judge refused to block Trump's order, targeting mail voting in a federal voter list?
A federal judge today refused to block a Trump executive order aimed at creating a federal voter list and limiting mail voting, though the decision reportedly has no immediate effect on the midterms. This is one of those stories that is both technical and highly emotional. Election administration policy can sound procedural, but it touches the core question of democratic legitimacy: who gets to vote, how they vote, and who controls the rules. Today's ruling does not necessarily validate the policy on the merits. It reflects that at this stage, the judge is not granting the emergency relief that would block it immediately. That distinction matters. A refusal to block can mean the court believes the legal challenge has not met the threshold for immediate injunction, or that harm is not imminent, or that plaintiffs lack standing, or that the order's practical effects are not yet enforceable. Trump's argument, repeated often in election discourse, is that stricter standards and centralized voter verification strengthen trust. Supporters see it as modernization, a single, more coherent framework for voter rolls that reduces duplication and administrative inconsistency. Opponents see it differently. They argue that election administration is constitutionally and historically state-centered, and that federal intervention can become a political weapon. They also warn that restrictions on mail voting could reduce access for seniors, rural voters, deployed service members, and people with limited mobility. The real stakes are twofold: the policy outcome and the precedent. Even if this specific order has limited effect in the short term, court rulings can establish pathways for future federal involvement. Election policy disputes frequently lead to multiple lawsuits across jurisdictions. That's because election law is a patchwork: different states, different rules, different administrative systems. When the federal government attempts to unify or constrain those systems, friction is inevitable. And then there's the political timing. Any major election policy story becomes midterm fuel, regardless of whether it takes effect tomorrow or next year. Politicians use these rulings to mobilize supporters, fundraise, and frame narratives about fairness and integrity. For a responsible viewer, the key question is, what changes immediately, and what is still theoretical? Based on today's reporting, there's no immediate effect on midterms. That usually suggests implementation steps remain incomplete, or states retain discretion until further legal clarification. Here are the 3 practical next steps to watch. Implementation guidance: what federal agencies actually instruct states to do. Second phase litigation: appeals, parallel lawsuits, or new injunction requests. State responses: which states comply, resist, or seek carve-outs. Today's ruling is not an endpoint. It's a marker in a long-running legal and political fight over election administration, one that remains central to Trump-era politics and the broader American debate over democratic trust.